Yo, quick little trade recap. I took one trade tonight. It was a long on NQ. It was this here, and it was a win. So let's get into that. So I do not normally trade Asia session, right? I very rarely trade Asia session. However, last week, I mean, basically, as if you've been trading lately, you know the AM sessions have been pretty choppy. There have obviously been some decent opportunities to take advantage of, but overall, it just has not been efficient as it was last month, at least in my opinion, for the way that I trade. And I've been kind of just watching the Asia session over the past like probably 2 or 3 weeks and just kind of seeing how price plays out and if there is any efficiency in the delivery of the draw on liquidity. And last week, I actually ended up paper trading the Asia session on Sunday open and actually took a really nice win. I want to show that right quick. So last week, kind of what did we look like overall? The market was on the bigger time frame, obviously bullish, and this is an internal model that I traded on. I believe it was this day right here. I took a really nice long. I think it was on ES, or I don't even remember. Maybe it was NQ, but I remember trading this market maker buy model here on the 1 hour with the inversion for value gaps sweeping out sell side on NQ, and then I wanted this to be the draw on liquidity. So overall, I was higher time frame bullish, and then notice last Friday did not end up taking out buy side, so we were just generating liquidity at the highs, and then market open at 5 p.m. on Sunday ended up leaving this very large new week opening gap here, selling off to OTE of this price leg, and then we ended up getting a really nice internal model here with after the market gaps down with the new week open gap, we end up getting a really nice power of 3 at the low. So NQ was basically just chopping around here, and then we ended up putting in an internal bullish SMT at the low. So NQ gets manipulation right before 7 p.m. By the way, 7 p.m. is when the Asia session opens, and this is when the volatility actually kicks in and the efficiency. And that's something that you need to pay attention to, and something that also played a key part in today's trade as well. But anyways, this internal bullish SMT got put in, and if I bring up ES, here's that SMT. Notice ES never takes out the low, NQ does. So we have internal manipulation at the lows. And then at this point in time, I'm waiting to see the reaction of this. The market gets clear and obvious displacement higher here through these bearish imbalances. I think these were 2 minutes, if I remember correctly. Get this a little freaking load. Seriously. Okay. Yeah, these were 2 minutes because we had this bearish 2 minute here and then this bearish 2 minute here. But the market ends up getting like obvious displacement higher. We rebalance to this price like here. This 1 minute holds bullish, and when this held bullish, and then we got displacement, this is where I ended up taking my long. Like I said, this was a paper trade because I haven't traded the Asia session in like 2 years, so I wasn't about to copy trade 5 funded accounts on a session that I haven't traded in months and months. But I did paper trade this. It was a beautiful setup, and notice right at 7 p.m. Notice where the cursor is. That's when the volatility kicks in, the efficiency comes, and we get a straight move up to this new week opening gap. Market fills it beautifully, and then we end up selling off. But like I said, I really liked this setup. I loved this internal buy model here, market maker buy model with a smart money reversal, and then we have accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. This is buy side of the curve here. And as far as higher time frame context, on the 1 hour, like I said, we were already very bullish overall, and then we already had this internal manipulation here. So this low getting swept on NQ, this is turtle soup. This is internal manipulation. And then what is the reaction of this level getting taken? The market gets clear and obvious displacement higher here. But notice we never end up taking out this internal high on NQ. So what is the market doing? We are generating buy side liquidity above. And why does the market move? To hunt liquidity. Like the market needs liquidity to move. So when we're generating liquidity at this high on the bigger time frame on NQ, that tells me that I want to be bullish overall until that high gets taken. And so once again, when the market opened last Sunday and we gapped down, just rebalancing to OTE of this price leg, and then we got that really nice internal model with the power of 3, then I'm already bullish overall. I see the SMT, I see clear and obvious displacement higher, inversion for value gap, protected low inside of this 1 minute for value gap, and when this holds and the market displaces, I took my long, and yeah, beautiful trade. So that was last week, and then today I hopped on the charts, and after watching the game, which was sad because the GOAT lost. But yeah, so I hopped on the charts, and this is kind of what we're looking like. And let me take the executions off. But what are we doing here overall? The market is clearly bearish on the bigger time frame because we have just sold off the second half of last week. We dumped like 1,000 points, like 1,500 points actually, and we ended up sweeping out this internal low, which is also a monthly fair value gap. So we had a monthly unmitigated fair value gap that was the draw on liquidity here. As you can see, Friday tapped that. So already on the bigger time frame, I'm talking about like the 4 hour and the 1 hour, I'm expecting to see at least some sort of bullish reaction from this monthly fair value gap, right? Because I mean, we had a huge dump lower, tapping a very obvious, very prominent key level on the bigger time frame on NQ, being that monthly fair value gap. And then notice, look at the price action here. Look at the internal price action. Initial low gets put in, low gets swept, so we have internal manipulation here into that monthly fair value gap. And then what is the reaction of this monthly fair value gap getting mitigated? The market gets clear and obvious displacement higher, almost 700 points. We get a 1 hour change in the state of delivery here. So notice the last series of down close candles that sweeps liquidity. The market gets obvious displacement above that. We get a really nice 1 hour inversion for value gap here. We generate a high here inside of this 4 hours. So we have a 4 hour intermediate high. And then the PM session of Friday, New York PM session, ends up generating this buy side liquidity. And then we get this rebalance lower to equilibrium of this price leg. So if I measure out from the low to the high, as you can see, the market ends up tapping 50% here very nicely. And then at 5 p.m. earlier today, we had this move right here. So 5 p.m. opens, and we're kind of at the moment respecting this big bearish 5-minute for value gap here. So let me low key mark this out. So very large bearish 5-minute imbalance. 5 p.m. opens, and what do? We sell off, and we sweep out this internal low on NQ. So NQ gets soup, turtle soup, while ES ends up sweeping out this low right here. So this low had already been taken. Sorry, I was looking at that weird. This low had already been taken on ES. So ES puts in an internal bullish SMT. Because notice this is 10:15 a.m. if you look at the bottom of the screen. NQ 10:15 a.m. has not yet been taken out. So bullish SMT was intact on the bigger time frame, which is in line with equilibrium of this price leg. And then, like I said, market opens or not market opens, I guess kind of 5 p.m. opens, and NQ gets the internal sweep of turtle soup. SMT gets put in. Now, what is the reaction? Clear and obvious displacement higher here, changing the state of delivery here. Inversion for value gap. So the big 5-minute that was holding bearish ends up getting displaced above. So notice I don't enter on this first displacement move here because we had not yet inverted the 5-minute. But when I see this 5-minute for value gap here that I have marked out, hold bullish, and then the market displaces again at this point in time that I'm confident we're not going back to this low, and the market wants to see a move higher here, at least towards OTE of this price leg, which is essentially like 61 to 78% of this price leg. And that's kind of where I was looking at for price to go and potentially to this high. And I still think we definitely can go to this high. But if we go down to the 1 minute, this is a market maker buy model in and of itself. So this is a beautiful textbook market maker buy model right here. And it makes sense that we should see buy side of the curve continuing here to go take out buy side liquidity. However, since it is the Asia session, you can't necessarily expect clean volatility. So we could just chop around here, but more often than not, we expect to see buy side of the curve here, and this is an internal buy model. But if we zoom into the 1 minute, this is a market maker buy model inside of this buy model. This is a very clean model right here. So what do we have here? We have buy side of the curve here, generating buy side liquidity, selling off into a key level. Now, what is the key level? Two different things. First off, we have equilibrium or OTE of this bullish price leg here. And why is this a valid price leg? Remember, because this is the price leg that is supported by this 5-minute here, and that ran through and turned this 5-minute into an inversion for value gap. So this bigger time frame displacement leg here is what we're looking at to hold bullish. We tap equilibrium of the bigger time frame leg, as you can see here. We tap it perfectly. Notice where this low comes down and perfectly taps equilibrium of the bigger time frame price leg. But then the internal price leg also, with this low here, gets respected in OTE. So OTE, we put in the initial low, get a little bit of a move higher, but then what does the market do? We sell off, re-sweep the low, turtle soup. So this is internal manipulation, and then clear displacement higher here. And we end up holding this 1 minute for value gap, and then this becomes buy side of the curve right here towards this internal high. Once this internal high gets taken, this market maker buy model is now complete. So when that model gets complete, what does the market do? we start to chop around for a little bit. Notice this is around 6:40 p.m., 20 minutes before the Asia session like officially opens. So now that the buy side liquidity, the internal buy side draw on liquidity has been taken out, and this internal model is complete, what do you think the market's going to do? It's going to become indecisive for a little bit. So from 6:40 to 7 p.m., the market chops around here, and then at 7 p.m., what do? We get a beautiful manipulation move lower, sweeping out another internal low. So notice 6:45 p.m. This is where my cursor is. Look at ES. ES never takes out this low. So 6:45 p.m. is not swept out by that 7 p.m. open move lower. So 7 p.m. opens, manipulates lower, internal SMT gets put in, and then we just get beautiful, clean, efficient price action here. And this is where I end up taking my position off. As you can see now, I didn't enter looking at this 1 minute model. I entered as soon as this 5 minute fair value gap got tapped. So notice, if we zoom in here to the 1 minute, my actual entry is the first time that this 5 minute ends up getting tapped, because this was what I was looking at to hold bullish for this model here, is this 5 minute right here. So I just entered this as soon as we tap the 5 minute, and then I see this initial low get put in. I see us get bought up. We fail to take out the high. So what are we doing right now? We're generating more buy side liquidity, because this just becomes buy side liquidity. So the market's like, that is what a market maker model is. It is the market generating liquidity here to then go have some form of manipulation into a higher time frame key level to then go run all of the generated liquidity. So we generate liquidity here, sell off into the key level. Key level holds bullish initially, we get bought up, but then we fail to take out the high, so we're just generating more buy side liquidity. Market sells off again to re-sweep the low, which is exactly what you want to see. So this becomes internal manipulation, turtle soup, and then this is where you really expect to see efficiency, because we've now had an internal move, we've had internal manipulation inside of your higher time frame key level, being this 5 minute, and also being OTE of this price leg, and then also being equilibrium of this price leg. Because remember, the market perfectly taps equilibrium right here, like literally to the point. Like we come 1.75 points below equilibrium. This is how algorithmic the market is. Like, it's not random. Like this actually happens. This stuff actually works. So this internal buy model here becomes much more clean and much more efficient once we have this internal sweep here, and then this becomes buy side of the curve, and this is a model inside of a model here. So yeah, that was today's trade. Very clean. Like I said, why am I even bullish in the first place on the bigger time frame? Why am I even considering a buy model? Because we've just recently tapped the monthly fair value gap, swept out this low, internal sweep. Like, guys, this right here is the same exact thing as this right here, just on a different time frame. Like, what is happening? Why am I bullish on the bigger time frame? Because we've tapped the monthly fair value gap and we've had internal manipulation followed by displacement. So that automatically makes me bullish on the bigger time frame. Quickly, one more time. We tap a higher time frame key level, we get internal manipulation, and then clear displacement higher. So what about the 5 minute time frame? What are we doing here? We tap a higher time frame key level here, being this low and also being equilibrium of this price leg. Notice OTE and equilibrium get tapped, and then internal low gets swept out. So this is the higher time frame key level. Then what do we get here? Internal manipulation at this low, so this becomes turtle soup, followed by what? Clear and obvious displacement higher. So higher time frame key level, internal manipulation, displacement higher. Now to the 1 hour. Higher time frame key level, which is the monthly fair value gap, internal manipulation, displacement higher. I'm showing you that the market is fractal. It's the same thing on every single time frame. And the way that you can take such insanely precise entries like this is by recognizing the higher time frame model and then aligning the internal lower time frame model with that higher time frame model. So I'm already bullish and I recognize this higher time frame model. And then I zoom in and I see the internal model here. And I'm like, okay, internal manipulation, internal sweep, obvious displacement higher, inversion for value gap. There's no more reason for the price to go down to this low until we've taken care of business up here. Whether that means we sweep the high or we at least tap OTE of this price leg above equilibrium, which is what we've now done. But we need to see at least some form of move higher. And then I see, like I said, clear and obvious displacement higher. I don't enter here because we don't yet get the inversion. But once we get that inversion, then I'm looking to enter on that next key level that opens up from that, which is this 5 minute fair value gap. And then I also recognize this beautiful internal buy model here. And this just adds more conviction and more confidence to this overall model, because I'm already bullish on the 1 hour, and then I'm recognize this internal buy model, and then I zoom in even further and see another internal model inside of the model. So yeah, really nice trade today. I won't be trading tomorrow. Definitely no need to at this point, but yeah, I'll probably some point next, later in this week, whenever the market gives another good opportunity. But yeah, really clean trade, and yeah, peace.